Man, this dude has ordered a lot of pizzas. What a lucky man. Hey, what is going on with you guys? My name is SubZeroExtabyte. I am pretty sure that this is pretty self-explanatory by now, but what might not be as self-explanatory is the fact that it is snowing right now, and I am not in my own house, which also is a huge shocker, I bet. And I am wearing a Santa hat, and I actually think that I am pulling it off really nicely. But I will tell you what the deal is today. A couple of weeks ago I received an invitation for a pizza shop. Some guys wanted me to help out on their pizza shop. And you know me, I do love me some pizza, right? So I was like, who might that be? I do not know any Italians that might want me to help them. So I found out that this invite came from the one and only head elf. The head elf. The one that is right beneath Mr. Santa Claus himself. So I immediately got really excited because I straight up love Christmas. So that is where I am heading to right now. And I will be going to work in the pizza department of Santa, his secret workshop. How cool is that, you guys? So this is supposed to be the place where I will be working the next couple of days. But first I will need to decorate my new room a little, since I actually traveled all the way to the North Pole. And I am not just here for one day. I am here to stay, people. I am kidding, I cannot stay around here all year, but I am really excited that I actually got the chance to work for Santa Claus, and maybe I will see him sometime while I am here. And just to be working with all of the elves that wrap my Christmas gifts every year, that is the most wonderful thing that I have ever done. And yeah, you might have noticed that I'm a bit of a freak when it comes to the Christmas holidays. I just love them to death. I love the fact that you get to be around your family, especially when you have that nice food on the table and you are just able to enjoy it with the people that you love. And what can beat the sight of snowfall during the holidays? I mean, with all the decorated houses, the pretty Christmas lights out on the street, that gives me the warmest feeling that these cold days can ever bring. And I bet that I'm not the only one who thinks about Christmas that way. I just cannot be the only one who likes all of those days, especially when you get to sleep in, and when you watch out of your bedroom window you can see all of the snowfall. And if you are from the Midwest area of the US, you are in luck, because that means that you have already gotten snow this year, and that is just wonderful. Except for those people who do not like Christmas at all, that might not be as wonderful as I am making it out to be right now. But hey, I love it. You might not love it as much as I do, or maybe you love it even more than me, and that is all okay. As long as you guys do you, everything will be alright during the Christmas holidays. So let's hop into this pizza shop and let's find out where our workstation will be, because I bet that we will have to be handling a lot of orders around this time of the year, which is great. I mean, the more the merrier, right? Because the more pizzas you have, the more people will be happy, because they'll receive a pizza in the late night or in the afternoon. I mean, I don't really know at what time people order pizza, but I'm sure you get the point. So people, are you ready? Make sure that you are sitting down in your chair, or you are holding on to something steady, because we are making our first ever pizza in Santa, his own little pizza shop on the North Pole. I mean, are you not entertained right now? Are you not entertained? That just cannot be. If this little blonde lady would just get off of my head right now, then I would maybe be able to get some work done, because it is pretty hard to make a ton of pizzas when you have literally got the weight of a person bearing down on your shoulders. And I am definitely not a lifter, so this is possibly really bad on my back. But would you look at that? We just finished our first ever pizza, and I think that I just set my own personal record when it comes to decorating a pizza. How cool is that? Even though it pretty much is the first pizza that I have ever made, but that does not matter. I just set a new personal record, and that one is going into my own little private personal record book. How about that? It is actually pretty cool to have one of these, so you can just put in all of your personal records, and at the end of the year you can look back on all of the records that you have made, and then have broken again. How cool is that? Right, that way you can actually see that you keep on slaying throughout the year. And when it comes to this time of the year, slaying with AY actually literally becomes slaying with EIGH, the slaying through the snow, from a hill. I mean, I hope that that was not too confusing for you, because I just got a major headache by trying to say all of that right on the first try. Oh hey, would you look at that? Another personal record set today. I am literally on a roll. And just wait for the upcoming pun. I am on a pizza roll. Okay, I have to confess that this one was unasked for, and I will try to keep my puns just a little bit on a decently high level. I am sorry for that awful joke, but I just cannot help myself around these times. I mean, come on people, it is Christmas time. Well, it is not yet, but it is coming real soon. And you know what is also coming real soon? This tomato sauce that I am putting on this pizza right now. And please, woman, can you not start walking all over my pizza? Some people are trying to work here, and if I do not deliver a good job, I bet the Santa Claus will just send me back home. And I do not want that to happen. No way, not now. I am literally having the time of my life here on the North Pole, and I am not ready to be sent back home already. Plus, I really want to know what I am getting under the tree on Christmas Day. So I mean, now that I'm here, maybe I can start and wander around and maybe take a look in the gift factory. And if I perhaps see the gifts that I might be getting, well, that would simply make my day, or maybe even my week, or my month. What about if it would actually make my year? That would be the perfect timing when it is closing down to the last part of the year. I mean, 2016 is almost over. Just like 3 or 4 more weeks and it is done. That is just insane to me. If you think about what has happened this year, it's really amazing how fast the whole year went by, don't you think? Well, I mean, I certainly think so, and I think that it's been a rather awesome year for me and my friends. Especially with all the good and bad days that might be happening through the next few weeks. And of course, with all of the good and bad things that have happened throughout the whole year, I think that we deserve a little break. I mean, we all survived the Black Friday sales, right? That is another personal record in my book. I mean, I have already survived a lot of those, and that was just to keep you guessing towards my age. Maybe that will be my Christmas present to you, but I would not be counting on it too much. Alright, that was an unwanted pun. I literally had no idea that this one made that much sense, and I am deeply sorry for all of the unwanted puns that have been thrown around throughout this part of 2016. But obviously, besides the endless amount of puns, I think that we can all agree that it is time to put this year behind us. Just like I said a minute ago, this year there have happened a lot of great things, and a lot of bad things. Let me touch on the great things. If you are watching this video right now, that means that you have survived on this world for a record amount of days. That is another personal record for you right there. But also, moving on to the more apparent stuff, the Cubs have won the World Series, which is great for all of the Cubs supporters. Then we have the year with the rise of Roblox. I think that might just be the most important one of them all. I do not think that there have been as many of you watching this channel as you are today, if that sentence made any sense at all to you. But what I am trying to say, that at the beginning of the year, all of this was not as popular as it is right now. So I think that all of that success really reflects on the year that we had. The year that we had with each other. And to quickly get back into the holiday spirit, that is what we all want, right? We want to make history together. We want to enjoy life together. And if I was able to make your life, or maybe just this one year of your life, just a slight bit better with all of my really bad puns, well, then I will count that as a win. And I think that is really powerful with Christmas coming up. But let's see what we are going to do now. We have made some pizzas, and I am not sure, but my shift might be over. But I will check that with the manager real quick, who seems to be patiently waiting on a pizza that might never come out of that oven because it is taking a darn long time. And also because there is basically no one in the kitchen making any pizzas, right? I believe that there is no one out back making any pizzas, but I will check that right away because we cannot start having pizza malfunctions right away. That would just be insanely bad for business right now. And if we do not end up selling enough pizzas today, and in the following weeks, well, then Santa will basically lose his biggest income, and he might not have any money to buy presents for everyone on the entire planet. And now that might make the Grinch happy, but that will not make anyone else happy unless you do not have a heart. In which case, if I were you, I would put one on my Christmas wish list, because a heart is a pretty useful organ if you ask me. But hey, I am a rectangular figure, but even though I might not have a physical heart, I still have a mental heart that warms at the sight of freshly baked pizzas and those dark winter nights with a nice fire going on. And by fire I mean fire in the oven, because we really need these 3 pizzas to be ready right about now. Otherwise the manager, and by manager I do not mean Santa Claus, he is the big boss, but the manager will probably become really angry at all of us. Oh wait, did I just hear someone calling from the other side of the store? Alright, they actually did. This is the reason why the pizzas have not been shipped out yet. There was no boxer at the boxing station, and you all know how good of a boxer I am, so I will whip these boxes up like they are nothing. But while I do this, let me tell you a quick little Christmas story about when I was just a tiny little Sub-Zero. I might have been a Sub-1 instead of just a Sub-Zero. Alright people, I know that I keep rambling on about my stupid puns, but let's get to the story. So let's set the mood and the setting right first. I grew up in a pretty normal neighborhood. It was a suburban town next to a big Midwestern city. So as I said before, the Midwestern winters are really cold. There are a lot of scientific reasons for that, but I will keep it simple. So right around December is when the first snowfall starts to hit, and with it all of my hopes go up, and I am already looking forward to Christmas time, especially when all the people in my neighborhood were already unpacking their Christmas lights. And there were these amazing looking houses, with the big red and green flashing lights, and the sleds that people have put on the top of their house. We called it a rood, by the way, and it was just looking straight up amazing. And that is how these things go every year in the suburbs. That is just a part of the yearly cycle, and I was all about that. So when Christmas actually hit, I was even more excited. And on Christmas Day I woke up really early. I was probably already up at like around 6 in the morning, and I was just hoping that Santa had already come across my house so that there would be enough presents lying underneath that big green Christmas tree to fill the entirety of Walmart. And I remember hearing a bell sound coming from the living room downstairs as I was making my way down the stairs. And all of a sudden I got really anxious. Maybe my mother was already up and she had already seen all of the presents, or maybe it was my dog that had eaten one or some of the presents. But what I saw when I peeked into the living room corner, well, that just shocked me for life. I am still trembling when I just think about that moment. When I threw a quick look at that ginormous green Christmas tree that was set up with beautiful lights and ornaments in the corner of the living room, I saw this big fat man in front of it, and I could only see his silhouette from afar. So I got closer and closer, and that is when I saw it. He was fiddling around with the presents that were laying underneath the Christmas tree, and when I got closer, I saw who he was. He was wearing this big red and white overcoat, and he was wearing a hat just like mine, and I just could not believe it as he turned around to grab more presents. By the way, the story is taking too long, so I'll just switch back to normal music and video. I could see that full white beard underneath of his chin, and his geeky looking glasses were staring right at me. And of course I was just scared. I had not met this man in my entire life. I had obviously heard from him. I mean, he was the Santa Claus, but it did not hit me until I actually saw him standing there before me, on his knees working his way around with this really big bag full of presents. So I gasped. And he heard that, and as I walked around my couch to see if he had any more presents for me, he was gone. He just vanished in the 3 seconds that it took me to get from one to the other side of the couch. And then I heard this iconic ho 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 coming from outside, and as I ran to the window that was looking towards the street, I just saw this beautiful looking red and gold sled that was being pulled by an insane amount of deer. And at that moment, he looked at me and he waved, and right as he waved, the sled got into the air and they flew away. And of course after that, I immediately ran to the presents that he had just laid down under the Christmas tree, and I was opening all of my presents and screaming for my mom and dad to come downstairs because Santa had brought us all presents. That might just be the warmest memory that I have, and it was an amazing time. So alright, I might have laid a little on that short part of the story, but I could not tell this story without the details. And like they always say, the devil is in the details. Not literally though. But please tell me if you have ever had a magical Christmas moment like this, because I would love to read your stories down in the comments. And please do not be afraid to tell your story, because I will read them, I promise. Because I feel like that is a part of Christmas, sharing past experiences and being able to emphasize with others. And I want to make sure that you guys get that, because Christmas and these kinds of holidays only come around once a year, just like your birthday. But right now it is time to celebrate all of this with your loved ones, and make sure that you actually have fun during those times. But let's just make sure right now that I'm able to deliver all of these pizzas so that the people from the North Pole also get their hearts warmed a little, but not with romantic stories about things that may or may not have actually happened on Christmas, but just the amazing taste of these self-made pizzas that will definitely warm your stomach. If they do not warm your heart, then at least one of your organs will be warmed. Am I right, people? Man, this dude has ordered a lot of pizzas. What a lucky man. But let's hop into this pizza car and make the trips to all of the upcoming houses to give the people their pizzas. I am sure that they will appreciate it if I am actually on time with their pizzas, because no one actually likes to wait on their pizzas for a long amount of time. I mean, I would not want to wait on my pizza if I would know that I made them and that they are the best pizzas that are in town. Mostly because the North Pole only has this one little pizza place, which is pretty okay for a town of this size, I guess. But beautiful children, we have come to the end of this video, and with this I just want to tell you that you are all loved by me, of course, and I wish you guys a lot of good pizza, and of course, I will see you all tomorrow.